Chris Eubank Jr. slaps Conor Benn with an egg at the presser and all hell breaks loose. Like, this is one of the most incredible things you will see at a press conference. I mean, we've seen Derek Chisora do some absolutely insane things, but this is one of a kind. Like, I just couldn't believe what I was seeing. This is crazy. Chris Eubank Jr. is absolutely out of his mind. He's really selling this fight. Do you know what? I was not really sold on this fight. When this fight was being talked about after, Conor Benn had failed drugs test and, it was just too much back and forth. And I actually made a video at that time saying that this was a make-believe rivalry and that, these two needs to just get it on because the more they wait, the less people will be interested in this fight. I thought it's just dragging on for way too long because Chris Eubank Jr. is saying he's the A side. Conor Benn is saying he's the A side. Chris Eubank Jr. wanted 60%. Conor Benn didn't want to give Chris Eubank 60%. And I thought it was just too much, ego going around. It just needs to make the fight happen. And I wasn't really sold. However, now, after this, I am absolutely sold. Take my money. Like, take my money. This is absolutely incredible. Like, if there's a time or if there's a way to sell a fight, this is it. Like, this is how you sell a fight, right? Because I felt like both fighters had a forced rivalry because of their fathers, absolutely. So I didn't think it was genuine between them. But now it looks like it's going to be very intense. And I believe they've got another presser on Thursday. So they're going to have to do their best to keep these two guys away from each other because Conor Benn will see this as a disrespect. And Conor Benn would want to swing, on sight. He would want to jump on Chris Eubank Jr. on sight. And this is going to be just one of those incredible things if they can't keep them away from each other at the presser. But look, this press conference was quite interesting. You had Eddie Hearn, you had Conor Benn and Nigel Benn. And then on the other side, you had Chris Eubank Jr., Ben Shalom, and then Ronnie Davis, who was Chris Eubank Sr.'s trainer when Senior fought Nigel Benn back in the days, which was an incredible fight, by the way. One of the best British fights I have watched. I was very young during that time, but I've watched this fight so many times, and I've watched Chris Eubank Sr. actually talk about his performance in that fight, and it was just incredible. One of the best fights I've seen in a ring. So that definitely is that, right? But it was really interesting at presser because Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn really went at it. Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom also went at it. And even Nigel Benn and Ronnie Davis almost went at it as well. It was just insane. Chris Eubank Jr. brought the fact that Conor Benn failed a drugs test, and he basically asked him, why was he consuming so much eggs or, so many eggs in that aspect. And Conor Benn really wanted nothing to do with that question. He just really didn't want to talk about that question. They also talked about this clause in the contract about rehydration and making sure that Chris Eubank Jr. does not eat too much and drink too much to rehydrate to his normal self, really. And basically Chris Eubank Jr. said that, I actually was paid, it is in a contract, that I'll get more money if I can basically restrict myself to a certain level, because this fight is being fought at 160. So they want to keep Chris Eubank Jr. At 160 and not give him the opportunity to eat and rehydrate to become too big, which was really interesting to see. Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom got into it with the rematch clause in there. But you know what? It doesn't really matter, because if these guys, the way this fight is going, if they're able to sell this fight and then have a really good fight in the ring, people are want to see that. People are going to want to see the rematch. So it would not really matter, really, whether there's rematch there. I think it benefits both guys. So I didn't understand the argument about whether there was a rematch in there and who wanted a rematch and who didn't want a rematch. It doesn't really matter because in the end, both guys are going to make a lot of money if they put up a very good fight, right? Because it's happening at the Tottenham Stadium. I think they're going to definitely sell the Tottenham Stadium the way things are going right now. If they're able to keep up what they're doing right now, they will sell this fight and they will sell it, and make a lot of money out of it. And that's what the broadcasters and the promoters and everyone involved wants, right? One thing that was really interesting is that Chris Eubank Sr. was not available at the presser. Now, I've watched Chris Eubank Sr. talk about the fact that he does not favor this fight. He doesn't want this fight to happen. He thinks his son, Chris Eubank Jr., is basically restricting himself too much, which could be detrimental to his health. And you have to take that into consideration because as a father, he's probably thinking about the safety of his son. Now, you've got some people in the comment section talking about why don't you back your son, and your son is, looking to have a fight and you've basically deserted your son, all of that stuff. I feel like, if you're not a father, you probably wouldn't know how it feels to protect your son. And Chris Eubank Sr. being such an experienced fighter and one of the best fighters I've watched, I've seen. I mean, he knows what he's talking about, right? So I get it, right? And he wasn't there. But if he was, this presser would have even been better. And this fight, I think, would have sold more if Chris Eubank Sr. was there. But he wasn't. That was quite interesting to see. I don't know if he's going to make his way to the presser or he's going to be at the fight. But the way Chris Eubank Sr. is sort of, behaving, I don't think he's going to be there. I don't think he cares. I think he's very scared for his son. And, as I said, understandably so. But so far, this presser is living up to expectation. I'm sure Eddie Hearn and Ben Shalom are absolutely ecstatic because that's what they want, really. They want a lot of chaos. They want a lot of drama. So people come and watch this fight. And, my interest in this fight is absolutely, just getting at a higher and higher and higher level. So look, I can't wait to see what they do on Thursday. It's always good to see fighters sell a fight. Conor Benn and Chris Eubank Jr. now are going to be rivals, I think, for a long time because of this egg issue and being slapped at a press conference, which is always going to be, footages that are going to be showing all over the world. So, look, I can't wait to see how Conor Benn reacts to this. But very interesting presser, and definitely looks like it's going to be a very interesting fight because every game plan is going to go out of the window in this fight. Like, I think every game plan is going to go out the window. Both fighters are going to get, in a ring and they're going to have an absolute war. I think they're just going to get in the ring, meet in the center of the ring and just have a tear up. I think Conor Benn is definitely going to do that because he's an emotional guy anyway. And then he's been, slapped with an egg at the presser and he's not going to like that. So I think Conor Benn is going to get in there and he's going to have an absolute tear up. And Chris Eubank Jr. will have no option but also engage in that because when you have a guy like Conor Benn coming at you, you're going to have to retaliate. So it's going to be an absolutely incredible night. The atmosphere at Tottenham Stadium is going to be really good as well. So look, I'm getting excited. I don't know what you guys think about it. Get in the comment section. Let me know what you really think about this fight, the presser, everything involved. Let me know in the comment section below. As always, guys, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.